Good morning, students. Today we are going to work on developing our kernel statements from yesterday into paragraphs for our narrative essay. By the end of class today, you will have developed 4 kernel sentences into 4 paragraphs using certain writing techniques. Let's get started. All right, so today we are going to work on really developing those kernels into paragraphs. I know what happened in the event that I'll never forget, but how do I turn those sentences into paragraphs, into a story? So I want to share with you 3 techniques that we can use as writers to develop our paragraph. The first technique is called a snapshot. The first step in the snapshot technique is to look at your sentence and imagine that you're looking at a photograph or a snapshot. Use words to describe everything you can see in the snapshot or in the photo. By using descriptive language, you can develop your narrative paragraph from your kernel. The second strategy or technique is called a thought shot. And this is kind of like a snapshot, except it describes what you are thinking at the time the event took place. So step 1 is look at your sentence. Imagine that people could hear everything you were thinking at that very moment. Write down everything that went through your head, everything you thought right then. The third technique is called bada bing. This is my favorite technique. It's really easy to use. When you are writing a paragraph from a kernel, the bada bing strategy can happen in 3 easy steps. You write a sentence telling me where your feet were. You write a sentence telling me what your eyes saw. And you write a sentence telling me what you were thinking. Bada bing. So these details or techniques help develop our narrative writing so that it adds interest into your essay. Another way to add interest into your narrative essay is by giving me some sensory details, like telling me what you can see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Maybe you can see the seagulls flying across the sky, and you can taste the salty air in your mouth. Where am I? That's right, I'm at the beach. Sensory details can give a lot of excitement to your essay. A final way to add some action into your narrative is by giving an example of dialogue. Did your mom say to come downstairs? Or did your mom yell, "Marcus, get down here right now"? Dialogue can give us tone in your essay and a lot of action into what happened during your story. So I'm going to show you today one of my kernels and how I took that kernel and made it an actual paragraph. Okay, my handwriting is a little messy, but I think you'll be able to see what I did. So yesterday, kernel 1 for me was that I left my band instrument on the school bus. Remember, we're trying to answer question 1, what happened to you? Question 1, what happened to you yesterday? The answer was I left my band instrument on the school bus. How can I turn that into a paragraph? You're going to go to the kernel expansion template and you're going to type in number 1, your answer from yesterday. So yesterday's answer for me was I left my band instrument on the school bus. Now I'm going to develop that right here into a paragraph. So I want to use the tab button first, and I'm going to tab over to make my indentation. I'm going to type my paragraph, and while I do, I want you to think about what technique I am using from the technique slide that I just showed you. Am I using a snapshot, a thought shot, or the bada bing strategy? So here goes. It was a rainy day in October. My classmates and I were headed home from Atascocita. I remember the bus was packed like sardines. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students and all of our band instruments. My expensive, shiny tuba was in the seat next to me. What technique did I use? A snapshot, a thought shot, or bada bing? If you said snapshot, you got it correct. I imagined looking at a photograph of the stacked bus that day, and that's how I arrived at all of those details for paragraph 1 in my essay. Notice that this does not give me the whole story. So this is just part of the story. Remember, going back to that planning sheet, all I have to answer in kernel 1 is what happened to you. So in the first paragraph box, I just have to give the details of what happened to me. Then I'm going to move forward into getting into more details about who was involved, where it happened, and how that I will remember that forever by answering these questions. I'm going to publish a sample of my essay for you to write. What I want you to keep in mind today as you write your kernel paragraphs is that you should not use the same writing technique for each paragraph. In other words, let's not have every kernel expansion be a snapshot. Let's give a variety between snapshots, thought shots, and bada bing. When you are done today, you will have 4 paragraphs completed. You will be finished with the essay process. If you have any questions, go back to this technique slide first. Look at my sample essay, and then and only then can you email your teacher. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy writing!